Welcome to another episode of Video Editing Mentorship with Odebe Fred. This is the CapCut mobile session. On today's session, we would be looking at basic video editing techniques, cutting, trimming, and we would look at some other effects that we can explore in CapCut. So let's begin. So it's a good thing that we even have this now. Let me take a look at some of the videos that I have here. So for this, because we're talking about transition, cutting and trimming, I would be selecting multiple videos so that I can show you how to work with this. So let me select multiple videos and we'll be working with all these multiple videos together. Alright, don't get distracted yet. Okay, so this is how to cut a video. You see this split? In some apps it shows cut. So wherever my cursor, this white line, this white vertical line running through this clip, this white line here, wherever it is, and I click on the video, or if I had a text, if I have a text and let me type gym time. The moment I put this over this block, over the text or my timeline, and I click split, it's going to split whatever media file that I have selected. If it is the video I select and I click split, it's going to split the video. If I move the cursor again, click on the text this time and click split, it's going to be splitting the text. Okay, so you need to know that what it's splitting is what is being selected. So that split is what is called cut. However, to trim a video, trimming can only be done from 2 points, the beginning or the ending of the video. It can be done at the middle. That is called cutting. So if you want to trim a video, you come to the edge either at the beginning or at the ending and slide. If it's at the beginning, you slide right. So you see I'm trimming the video. Let's say I want to start from when he's moved down. Okay, let's get his leg backwards. So once his feet touches the ground, yes. So move the video now. You can see that this is where the video starts instead. So it moves from there. Let's say I want to cut the video when he does full sets. Okay, I want to cut it here, so I'm going to cut it here, and I'll delete this other part because I don't need it. I don't need all of this other part. I would cut it here. Then we'll come back again. So let's count it. 3. So let's stop it here and see. So we'll slide, so we'll see where he stops. Well, then I pause, split it, or I can trim. If I click on split, I can click delete here, or I can just come to this point and drag backwards, drag it to this point. Another thing you need to know also when you want to cut is that for more precision in cutting, you need to zoom into your timeline. If my timeline is this big, if you look at this top area that shows your time, you can see it jumps from 0 to 10 to 20. So the precision might not be too good. So you need to ensure that you're zoomed in properly so that you can get more time. It will be faster. Yes, the video will roll faster, so you don't need to play the video most of the time if you're zoomed in too much. If not, you can't tell where it's supposed to go. However, if I am sliding, I can be so precise about the second he moves his leg. So you can see. And you would understand why this is important. It will come in other classes when we are trying to transition. So you understand this in transition. And let's get to this point where he's squatting and we want to get him up and go down again, go down, go down, go down. Now we're at the second video. Now, I want a smooth transition in this, so I'm going to look for him and I'm going to wait for him to go down, but they are not in the same position, so I'll just keep on sliding forward, keep on sliding forward, keep on sliding forward till I get a similar position. Keep on sliding forward until I get a similar position. Yes. Okay, I think here is good. So I'll click on split. Delete this other part at the right because that's the side. I want the video to start from this point and move towards the left, and cut so that you see this now. On zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out so that you can understand how smooth this is. Now, on a good day, this would work. But the transition, remember I'm talking about cutting and trimming and also looking at transitions. But if I just leave it like that, it's not smooth enough. So I'll click on this symbol in between the two clips, this horizontal white line that is inside the white, black line that is inside the white box. I click on that. And don't forget that you need. Now, the best effect to use here would be mix. And I can elongate the duration of the mixing. I can make it very much short so that it just moves like this. So one of the differences you can see in this shot is that this one with the guy on black is farther away while this other one is closer. So to make it better, let's adjust it so I can drag the clip backwards a little bit. To get a point where he was a little bit far from the camera and get something similar to, I think I was moving a lot in this shot. Okay, since he held it for long here, so let's start from this point and delete here so you can see once I play the video from this point it's smoother than if I had no transition. Now, because we've been able to time their body movement also in my cutting, so I'm timing it so that it's moving smoothly. One. I can even add much more effects to it if I wanted to. Let's say glow burst, but it all depends on you and what you're trying to achieve. This is usually best for when you're pulling from one area that is different, but since they're in the same location and it's just the same equipment, what is changing is just the person in the frame and not something too dramatic. And it mixed with a very short timeline, not something very long, so it just moves smoothly into the next one and continues. Now we have a video that plays like this from this point.
They are in the presence of the Lord right now. They are in the presence of the Lord. They are living for the Lord.
And you have that over there. So if I come to this point as well where this guy is and I want, so you see that these are two different things, two different scenes as well, not the same like the other ones. this is a guy walking. This is, you're seeing the cycles, and a lot of equipment are in the frame, while this is freer. So how do we get this kind of shot? The best advice for this kind of things is to use motion shots. Since there is motion in it, and I can use camera. I can do something like. But because it's far, we'll have to pull it. Or if the reverse were to be the case, we can do all of that. You can pull down. But I'll later teach on transitions properly, and I'll explain when to use certain transitions. But for this kind of videos that are side by side, to get a very good transition, you would need kind of transition. So if you've watched gym videos before, you'll know that this kind of place now, the stuff that will be good will be pull out. Now let me do something that would, so let's scale. So I want it to be close. I said scale, sorry. Let's trim the video to this point when I am closer to him and I'm pulling out. So let's look for that point from here to this. So you see how that goes. So you see how that moves smoothly. You can still use overlay, mix, and make it. You can, depends on what you want to come on. It's your game. So you was not so fast. So you get this effect. You need to really make it fast. So this is 1 second. Let me make it just 1 second. Okay, let me get him at this point. So we'll trim down to this point. And let's see. And there you have it. We've been able to look at transition there. So we've transitioned into another clip. And once it ends, there's still much more bandwidth and all of that. I don't want to capture all of that. I just want to stop. Let's say I want to stop here. And then add another clip again. A totally different clip. Let's say this. What I have to do, again, transition, right? So this is him at this point. And let's see what we can do now. So instead, this is a pro feature, but I just want to see how you can do. So it does now, then, and now. You've seen it happen before. But at this point, we can use what we call light effects or a glitch. Let's look for a glitch effect. Well, the network seems to be poor, so I'll just stick with light for this example, and maybe a glow burst will do it. Usually better for brighter videos or well-colored videos, but you could also slide. If it's camera, you could boom to the right. So you can have this, but you can see that that's not so smooth. So let's make it faster. There's so many things I can do in this video, but I'm just going to stick to transition. If I want to make this video a whole lot better, just these 3 videos, there's a whole lot that will need to be done. But this is just full transition so that you understand why I'm not doing so many other things. We're just sticking to understanding transition. So let's say we want to apply top right. We can do that. We can fold cover. We can pull in, which looks fantastic. So it's not, so let's try and match his position in the other video with this one. So let's look for a point where he's almost at similar position. Yes, and let's say we move it to this point. And see how the difference is. So because it's almost at a similar position. Now, know that it's not every video that would have things like this, but I'm just giving you some rules on how to cut your videos and how to scale it so that it fits in with the other clips, so that the transition will be smoother here. Now we need to make it a little bit smoother.
Come on!
So remember what I said, we need to pinch and find out where he just stood. So this is him standing, and I think this point is better off. Let's put this point. So that's it for cutting, trimming. Remember, when you're cutting, you're using the split. You select the media, the picture, the audio, the text. You click on split. Wherever this vertical white line is, that's where the video would split. And if you want to trim, if it's an audio file, you do the same thing. If it's an audio file, you do the same thing for it. So wherever your cursor is, that's where the music will enter, but this is not a music tutorial. The moment I select this and I click split, it will split the audio. So it will split any media file on the timeline. Once you select it, if you select any media file and you click split, it's what is going to be splitted. That's it for cutting, trimming, and transition in basic editing techniques here in CapCut Mobile. See you in the next class.